My dad was the son of a baker. As a little boy, he loved sports. He played football and tennis, and his parents came from Poland, so they were immigrants, and he was a first-generation American. Grew up in Peekskill, New York, and went to Kent State University. His parents, I think they put him on a train or a bus. They didn't even take him to school. And he played tennis for Kent State. And my dad was the baby of his family. He had an older brother and an older sister. And my mom was also the baby of her family. She had an older sister, and her dad was a doctor. And the thing I remember most about my grandmother, one of the things, is that she was president of Hadassah. And my mom was 5 years younger than her sister. They were very close. I don't know, schooling was very important to her, and especially to her dad. She was very smart. She grew up in the Bronx. And my grandfather worked at Mount Sinai Hospital, which is famous. There were a lot of famous doctors at that hospital, including Dr. Crohn, who Crohn's disease was named after. And so she grew up in the Bronx and went to special schools for really smart people. And when my mom was 16 and my dad had just graduated from college, he got a job at Camp Mill Run, which was his sister and brother-in-law's camp. And it was the summer before he was going to go away to do his obligatory 1 year of service in the military. And my mom, I guess her parents asked if she could get a job at Camp Mill Run, and my aunt said, okay, and they hired her, and they were on the lookout for nice Jewish girls for my aunt's brother. And they hired several single women that summer, and with him specifically in mind. And maybe not exactly my mom, might not have been their first choice, but as soon as my mom saw my dad, it was love at first sight for her. I think it took a little more convincing on his end. I think she just took one look at him and liked the looks of him, and I think in certain ways he was everything she wasn't. He was this athletic, handsome, guy, and he was older. And I think with him, it was probably that she was 16 years old. I mean, she was a baby, and he was already graduated from college. And all I know is that it didn't take very long. I think, if I remember right, I think it did not take him long because she went after him full steam ahead. But that was where they met, and the rest is history. As soon as they, got together, she was completely devoted to him, and I think wrote to him the whole year he was gone. She went away to Cornell for college, and much to her dad's dismay, because he was a Cornell graduate, she dropped out when my dad came back from the Army. And they got married. She was 19 and he was 24. On their first anniversary, I was born.
Gramps was really a role model in kind of how to protect someone. He was always making sure that Gramsy was taken care of, and that she was eating, and that people were being, kind and nice. And he was very quiet, but you could always tell that was extremely important to him. And Gramsy was always, the same, running around cooking and doing different things for Gramps, and being there supporting him as a referee and at all his different tennis matches before he was refereeing and actually playing in the matches. And so much so that she got, what was it, Best Spirit or Best Attitude Award, I think, in tennis one time, because she was going out there, and she may not have had the talent that Gramps had, but she had the attitude and loved doing it with him. They care so much about each other and about everybody else. They put everyone else first. you know, Gramsci, it's a joke, but it's because she's just so loving. Anytime we eat with her, she's the last one to sit down with food to eat because she's making sure everybody else has what they need and their food. And you know, they're like that with each other and towards everybody else. So I think that's the biggest thing that, you know, I wish I could be just half of that and have the selflessness that they have.
I remember lots of tennis lessons, lots of going over to their house for Hanukkah. I remember going on vacations with them. What were they like? They were, Gramsci's always had this crazy positive attitude about everything in life. She actually won Best Attitude once for her tennis team. It's another story. And Gramps was always this sort of mellow, relaxed guy that you just wanted to sit around and you know, watch TV with and talk about things with.
I'm lucky enough to have several friends whose parents have been married 60 years right now, and there are some similarities between how they've really been there for each other and look at each other like, you know, best friends, and have always put their spouse first. And I think I think my mom and dad always did that. I don't really remember them arguing, you know, or fighting in front of us. So if they ever did, we were completely unaware of it. I don't remember them disagreeing about anything. And I think that that's the case with a lot of people their generation. Similar, very similar.
The first time I met Eve and Norty was at actually an Italian restaurant called Arturo's, and I was eating dinner there. It was during tax season, so I was by myself. I was sitting at the bar eating my dinner, and I was kind of scanning the restaurant, and I had seen Eve and Norty, and I had never met them before, but I knew what they looked like because Julie had shown me pictures of them, you know, pictures of all the family. And I walked up to the table, I introduced myself, and it was a fun experience. I don't think they knew me. I don't think Julie had talked to them about going out with me. And it was still fairly fresh. We'd only been dating for about maybe 3 months, a couple months, you know, steady. And so I introduced myself as a friend of Julie's, and you know, was glad to be able to meet them. It was really funny because Eve did not say a word. You know, when I was talking, I'd ask them questions, and she'd kind of look over to Norty and, you know, to answer all the questions I was asking. You know, I thought she was on drugs or something. But it was really easy to find her in the restaurant because she has this, you know, she had this bright red hair. You know, it distinguished her from the rest of the people in the restaurant. I actually saw her first before I saw Norty. Then I noticed that you know, Norty kind of looked like Julie, you know, so I thought I was pretty safe walking up to a couple of strangers and introducing myself. Thank God it was Julie's parents. Yeah.
You know, it's pretty clear to me that when I look back now, most of the passions, the interests that I have, that I hold most dear, come from them. Whether that's a love of movies or writing or in particular music. I think all of that really, whether or not it was started with Gramsci and Gramps, they certainly nurtured it. Some of my best memories early on are of staying the night at their house. And I was at a time when I was trying to learn how to play things that I heard in particular from movies. And so I would sneak down at crazy late hours of the night and sit at their piano and very quietly, I hope, very quietly I would try and pick out very famous film themes. And then I would learn how to write them down, and they were always very encouraging when it came to things like that. And that's something I always appreciated about them. How did they parent?
I don't want to say. I just wished my dad answered the phone when I called, like if I called to do something. I joke around with them a lot about when we go out to eat. They order one meal, and that's because my mom takes like 2 bites and my dad gets the whole meal. But I think he realized that was, made sense because she doesn't eat a lot. But she's always, they just have always taken care of each other. My mom takes care of him, she's always been by his side, and vice versa. And I think that they have been a great role model for a lot of people, and they are social butterflies. They love to go out, their calendar is always full. We joke around that, we're all at home chilling out and they're running around doing the town. Even now, after being together for 60 years, they have a lot of friends that are younger than them, and they give them a run for their money.
Still incredibly energetic and, sprite, and that's definitely what they prefer is the 2-on-2.
We try and see them sometimes, and their schedule is a lot busier than ours because they just have so many friends and things going on.
They can still kick it on the dance floor too. At Haley's wedding the other weekend, they got up on the dance floor, the 2 of them, and started, I don't know if it was ballroom dancing or what, but it was really cute. So they still have this desire to be together.
Holly said she hopes that we can dance like that when we're that age, and I said I hope I can walk when I'm that age. But
my mom was always the one that super chatty. She talked and talked and talked and talked. And now, as they're getting older, I'm seeing that shifting to where my dad is doing a lot of talking, and that's a real change, because growing up, my mom talked, all the time, and my dad was the quiet one. He was quiet, but kind of let her do her thing, and now he is, much more actively engaged in all the relationships that they have.
They don't ignore each other, or they don't have that filter like some couples have, where you kind of heard it and you just kind of But they're very in tune to the conversation between each other. You can see some couples after they spent 50 or 60 years together, it ain't so pretty, but you can tell, that they enjoy being with each other. They value that relationship and that time together. And it's very special because you don't see it that often. You don't.
Ni hao, Eve and Norty. This is Mark. I don't know if you could see this, but I'm on my way to the airport to travel to my next city in China. But I want to wish you a happy anniversary, and I look forward to seeing you next weekend.
Happy 60th.
Happy anniversary, Gramsy and Grams. We all love you.
Yep, happy 60th.
Happy 60th from Davison, North Carolina. Love you.
Norty, hey, what are you doing? Hey,
Norty,
we
want to thank you. It's just been a wonderful time.
I'm trying to talk here.
Okay, go ahead.
Listen, hey, happy anniversary. We love you. And we're glad we could be there with you tonight, although it's not tonight. We know that.
Yeah, we're coming, and it's going to be awesome, and we really appreciate your friendship. We love you both.
And we'll see you on your 70th.
Eve and Norty, you are the 2 youngest 80-year-olds we've ever known.
Never stop dancing.
Happy anniversary. We love you.
The Great Expectations team says happy anniversary, Norty and Norty. Yay! Woo!
Gramsy and Gramps, you guys are seriously some of the most thoughtful, loving, and caring people that we know. And around, whether it's the string of compliments, Gramsy, that you always give, and often multiple times in a row. When you see me, everybody else, in case you didn't know, I am the most beautiful girl around. My Gramsy says so. Or it's always, coming to sports games or different events that we've had throughout our lives growing up. Ben, I think you've had some memories too.
Yeah, I will just say, ever since I moved to Atlanta with Jesse, I felt like I was immediately treated like another grandchild. And in the same way, I had 2 more grandparents I've been so welcomed, not just me, but my whole family. They always want to stay up to date with me and what's going on, and definitely just feel like one of the family from the start.
Yeah, so, I mean, love is always clearly in abundance with you guys, and you always make us feel loved and cared for, and you're really an incredible role model to us of what 60 years of marriage should look like and what we aspire to do ourselves. So 60 years strong and continuing, we love you guys.
Love you.
So I've been thinking about what's it like to be married for 60 years. I just can't imagine. That's a long time. I was thinking, for me to achieve that milestone, I'll be almost 100 years old. And even though I may be around, I'm hopefully will be aware of it being my 60th wedding anniversary. And I certainly hope that Julie and I will be in the same place that y'all are in when we get there, because it's just a beautiful place to be.
Gramsy and Gramps, we love you. We remember, or I remember, your 50th anniversary and how fun and special that seemed, and now we're at 60, which is even more special and even crazier that you guys have made it this long. And I can honestly say that you seem about the same now as you seemed 10 years ago, and I hope 10 years from now we're doing the same thing for your 70th. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Happy anniversary.
Hey, Gramsy and Gramps. I just wanted to wish you a happy 60th anniversary from Amanda and me both. Amanda can't be here tonight because she's actually overseas for work, but I know that she wanted to be here. We love you and hope that you've had a great night, and we look forward to all the future time and events that we're going to be able to do together.
Mom and Dad, I want to thank you. If it wasn't for you, I would not be here. And I think that you've both been an amazing contribution to the world in so many ways. I mean, what you've done and the family that you've created out of your love, I think is pretty exceptional. And I want to thank you and say Mazel Tov on this amazing 60-year anniversary. We love you so much.